Life is too short to settle for average, too precious to waste on mediocrity, too valuable to squander on the ordinary. You see, average is the enemy of greatness. It's the thief that robs you of your potential, the silent killer of dreams. And today we're going to declare war on average. Now, let me ask you something. When you were a child, did you dream of being average? Did you look up at the stars and think, gee, I hope I grow up to be just like everyone else? Of course not. You dreamed of being extraordinary, of doing amazing things, of leaving your mark on the world. So what happened? When did we start accepting average as good enough? When did we trade in our dreams for a comfortable mediocrity? I'll tell you what happened. Life happened. Responsibilities piled up. Bills came due. And slowly, insidiously, we started to believe that maybe our dreams were too big, that maybe we should just be grateful for what we have and not rock the boat. But let me tell you something, friends. That's a lie. A big fat lie that society feeds us to keep us docile and content with our lot in life. And it's time we stop swallowing it. You were born for greatness. You were created with unlimited potential. And it's high time you started living up to it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but I'm just an ordinary person. I don't have any special talents or abilities. Well, let me tell you something. Neither did most of the extraordinary people who have changed the world. Thomas Edison wasn't born knowing how to invent the light bulb. He failed thousands of times before he succeeded. But he didn't settle for average. He kept pushing, kept trying, kept believing in his vision. Mother Teresa wasn't born a saint. She was just a simple nun who decided to dedicate her life to helping others. But she didn't settle for average. She pushed herself to serve in ways that most people couldn't even imagine. These people weren't superhuman. They weren't blessed with extraordinary talents or abilities. What set them apart was their refusal to settle for average, their determination to push beyond their limits and strive for greatness. And that's what I'm challenging you to do today, to stop settling for average, to start pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, to start living up to your true potential. Now, I know it's not easy. Greatness never is. It requires hard work, dedication, and a willingness to face your fears and overcome obstacles. But let me tell you, it's worth it. The satisfaction of knowing you're living life to the fullest, of knowing you're making a difference, of knowing you're becoming the best version of yourself, that's worth any amount of effort and sacrifice. So how do we do it? How do we break free from the shackles of average and start living an extraordinary life? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I've got some strategies for you that will help you on your journey from average to awesome. First, you need to change your mindset. Average thinking leads to average results. If you want extraordinary results, you need to start thinking in extraordinary ways. That means rejecting limiting beliefs. You know the ones I'm talking about. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I don't have the right connections. These are all just excuses that your fear uses to keep you stuck in average. Instead, start adopting empowering beliefs. I can learn anything I set my mind to. It's never too late to start. I create my own opportunities. These beliefs will fuel your journey to greatness. Remember, your mind is like a garden. You can let it grow wild, full of weeds and thorns. Or you can cultivate it, planting seeds of positivity and nurturing them into beautiful flowers of success. The choice is yours. Next, you need to set big goals. Not average goals, not comfortable goals. Big, hairy, audacious goals that scare you a little. You see, average goals produce average results. If you set a goal to lose 5 pounds, you might lose 3. If you set a goal to increase your income by 10, you might manage 5. But if you set a goal to lose 50 pounds or double your income, even if you fall short, you'll still achieve far more than you would with an average goal. Now, I'm not saying you should set unrealistic goals, but I am saying you should set goals that stretch you, that push you out of your comfort zone, that require you to become more than you currently are. Remember, The purpose of a goal isn't just to achieve it. It's to become the kind of person capable of achieving it. So aim high, dream big. Set goals that inspire you, that excite you, that make you jump out of bed in the morning eager to get started. But setting goals isn't enough. You need to take action. Massive action, because average action leads to average results. You can't just dip your toe in the water and expect to become a champion swimmer. You need to dive in head first and start swimming with everything you've got. That means doing more than others are willing to do. It means going the extra mile when everyone else is calling it quits. It means pushing through the pain, the fear, the doubt, and continuing on when every fiber of your being is screaming at you to stop. But here's the secret. The more action you take, the easier it becomes. It's like building a muscle. The first few reps are hard, but as you keep going, you get stronger, more capable, more confident. And before you know it, you're doing things you never thought possible. You're achieving goals you once thought were out of reach. You're living a life that others only dream about. But there's a catch. To achieve extraordinary results, you need to be willing to fail. And not just once or twice, but over and over again. You see, average people are afraid of failure. They see it as a sign of weakness, as proof that they're not good enough, so they play it safe. They stick to what they know, they settle for average. But extraordinary people, they embrace failure. They see it as a stepping stone to success, as a valuable learning experience, as proof that they're pushing their boundaries and growing. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of a person who refuses to settle for average. So I want you to start seeing failure differently. Instead of fearing it, welcome it. Instead of avoiding it, seek it out. Because every failure brings you one step closer to success. Now let's talk about learning. Average people stop learning when they finish school. Extraordinary people never stop learning. In today's fast-paced world, if you're not continually expanding your knowledge and skills, you're falling behind. The information that got you where you are today won't be enough to get you where you want to go tomorrow. So make a commitment to lifelong learning. Read books, attend seminars, take courses, seek out mentors. Be curious about everything. Ask questions, challenge assumptions. Never stop growing. Remember, the most valuable investment you can make is in yourself. It's the one investment that no one can take away from you that will pay dividends for the rest of your life. But learning isn't just about acquiring information. It's about applying what you learn. Knowledge without action is like having a library of books you never read. It's potential going to waste. So as you learn, look for ways to apply your new knowledge. Experiment. Take risks. Try new things. That's how you turn information into wisdom and wisdom into results. Now let's talk about something that many people overlook on their journey to greatness. You see, it's hard to soar with the eagles when you're surrounded by turkeys. If you want to be extraordinary, you need to surround yourself with extraordinary people. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they pushing you to be better? Are they supporting your dreams? Are they living the kind of life you aspire to? If not, it might be time to make some changes. Now, I'm not saying you should cut people out of your life, but you might need to limit your exposure to negative influences and seek out more positive ones. Join mastermind groups, attend networking events, seek out mentors. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, who push you to be better. Remember, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And while we're talking about environment, let's not forget about your physical space. Is your home conducive to productivity and growth? Is your workspace organized and inspiring? Do you have a dedicated area for learning and self-improvement? If not, it's time to make some changes. Clear out the clutter. Create a space that energizes and motivates you. Surround yourself with things that inspire you and remind you of your goals. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you might realize. So create an environment that supports your journey to greatness. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked on the path to success. You see, it's hard to perform at an extraordinary level when you're running on empty. When you're tired, stressed, and out of shape, you're operating at a fraction of your potential. So if you want to achieve extraordinary results, you need to take extraordinary care of yourself. That means eating right, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, and managing your stress. I know, you're busy. You've got a million things to do. But here's the thing, taking care of your health isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Think about it. How creative can you be when you're exhausted? How productive can you be when you're stressed out? How persuasive can you be when you're feeling sick and run down? Taking care of your health isn't selfish. It's not a waste of time. It's an investment in your success. It's what allows you to show up every day, ready to give your all, to push your limits, to achieve extraordinary things. So make your health a priority. Schedule your workouts like you would an important business meeting. Plan your meals with the same care you'd use to plan a project. Treat sleep as sacred time, not something to be sacrificed on the altar of productivity. Remember, you only get one body. Treat it well, and it will serve you well on your journey to greatness. Now let's talk about something that separates the extraordinary from the average: discipline. You see, motivation is great. It gets you started. It gives you that initial burst of energy. But motivation is fickle. It comes and goes. You can't rely on it to carry you through to your goal. What you need is discipline, the ability to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. The commitment to show up every day, to put in the work, to keep pushing forward even when it's hard, even when you don't see immediate results. Discipline is what gets you out of bed at 5 a.m. to work on your side hustle before your day job. It's what keeps you going to the gym even when you're tired and would rather sit on the couch. It's what makes you say no to short-term pleasures in favor of long-term gains. Discipline isn't easy. It's not always fun, but it's necessary if you want to achieve extraordinary results. And here's the good news. Discipline is a skill. Like any skill, it can be developed and strengthened with practice. Start small. Build habits. Create routines. Over time, what once seemed difficult will become second nature. Remember, the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. Choose discipline and you choose success. Now let's talk about something that often holds people back from greatness. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, fear of what others might think. These fears keep many people stuck in average, preventing them from reaching for their dreams. But here's the thing about fear. It's not real. It's just false evidence appearing real. It's your mind playing tricks on you, trying to keep you safe in your comfort zone. But greatness doesn't live in the comfort zone. It lives on the other side of your fears. So instead of letting fear hold you back, use it as a compass. Let it point you towards the things you need to do to grow. If something scares you, that's probably a sign that you need to do it. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action in the face of fear. So feel the fear and do it anyway. With each fear you face, you grow stronger, more confident, more capable of achieving extraordinary things. And speaking of extraordinary things, let's talk about the importance of dreaming big. Average people have average dreams. They dream of a slightly better job, a slightly bigger house, a slightly more comfortable life. And that's fine if that's what truly makes them happy. But if you're reading this, I suspect you want more. You want to make a real difference. You want to leave a legacy. You want to live a life of purpose and meaning. So I challenge you to dream bigger. Don't just think about what's probable. Think about what's possible. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you attempt if you had unlimited resources? What mark do you want to leave on the world? These big dreams might seem impossible now, but remember, every great achievement started as an impossible dream. The Wright brothers dreamed of flying when everyone said it was impossible. Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed of equality in a time of deep-rooted segregation. Steve Jobs dreamed of putting a computer in every home when computers filled entire rooms. These people didn't settle for average dreams. They dared to dream big, and in doing so, they changed the world. So dream big! Let your imagination run wild. Don't let practicality or fear or doubts hold you back. Dream so big that it scares you a little, because those are the dreams that have the power to transform not just your life, but the lives of others as well. Now, as we dream big and set ambitious goals, it's important to remember the power of persistence. You see, average people give up at the first sign of difficulty. They hit an obstacle and think, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. They face rejection and decide, I'm not cut out for this. But extraordinary people, they persist. They keep going when the going gets tough. They see obstacles not as stop signs, but as challenges to overcome. They view rejection not as failure, but as feedback. Remember, most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. Success is rarely an overnight phenomenon. It's the result of consistent effort over time. So be patient, be persistent, keep showing up, keep putting in the work, keep moving forward, even if it's just a little bit each day. Over time, those small steps add up to massive progress. And as you persist, remember to celebrate your progress along the way. Don't wait until you've reached your ultimate goal to feel satisfied. Acknowledge and appreciate each step forward, no matter how small. This brings us to another crucial aspect of extraordinary living: gratitude. You see, average people focus on what they lack. They complain about what's wrong in their lives, what they don't have, what's not working out. But extraordinary people, they focus on what they have. They appreciate the good in their lives, no matter how small. They find reasons to be grateful, even in difficult circumstances. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's a powerful force that can transform your life. When you're grateful, you attract more good things into your life. You become more positive, more resilient, more open to opportunities. So make gratitude a daily practice. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you're thankful for. It could be something big, like your health or your family. Or it could be something small, like a beautiful sunset or a delicious cup of coffee. As you cultivate gratitude, you'll find that your life feels richer, more fulfilling. You'll be happier with what you have, even as you strive for more. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to talk about something that's absolutely crucial if you want to live an extraordinary life. You see, average people live for themselves. They focus on their own needs, their own desires, their own success, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But extraordinary people, they live for something bigger than themselves. They have a purpose, a mission, a cause that drives them. They understand that true fulfillment comes not from what you get, but from what you give. So I challenge you to find your purpose. What difference do you want to make in the world? How do you want to contribute? What legacy do you want to leave? It doesn't have to be something grand or world-changing. Maybe your purpose is to be the best parent you can be, raising children who will make the world a better place. Maybe it's to create art that touches people's hearts. Maybe it's to build a business that provides value to customers and opportunities for employees. Whatever it is, find something that ignites your passion, that gives your life meaning and direction. Because when you have a strong sense of purpose, it changes everything. It gives you motivation when times are tough. It helps you make decisions aligned with your values. It provides a sense of fulfillment that no amount of money or success can match. And here's the beautiful thing about living with purpose. It not only makes your life extraordinary, but it also has the power to make others' lives extraordinary too. Your purpose-driven actions can create a ripple effect, touching lives in ways you may never even realize. Now, as we talk about living an extraordinary life, it's important to address a common misconception. Many people think that to be extraordinary, they need to do something completely new, something that's never been done before. But that's not necessarily true. Often, being extraordinary isn't about inventing something new. It's about doing ordinary things in an extraordinary way. It's the teacher who goes the extra mile to help a struggling student. The business owner who treats every customer like family. The artist who pours their heart and soul into every piece they create. These people aren't doing anything that hasn't been done before. But they're doing it with such passion, such dedication, such excellence, that it becomes extraordinary. So don't get caught up in the idea that you need to reinvent the wheel to be extraordinary. Instead, focus on bringing your best self to everything you do. Do ordinary things with extraordinary love, extraordinary attention to detail. Because here's the truths. Excellence is not a skill. It's an attitude. It's a decision to give your absolute best in everything you do, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. When you adopt this attitude of excellence, you'll find that opportunities start to open up. People will notice your work ethic, your attention to detail, your commitment to quality. And before you know it, you'll be achieving extraordinary results in ways you never imagined. Now let's talk about something that often holds people back from living an extraordinary life: the fear of what others might think. You see, average people are constantly worried about fitting in, about meeting others' expectations, about not rocking the boat. They conform to societal norms, even if those norms don't align with their true desires and values. But extraordinary people, they have the courage to be themselves. They understand that they weren't born to fit in. They were born to stand out. This doesn't mean being different just for the sake of being different. It means having the courage to follow your own path, to pursue your own dreams, to live according to your own values, even if that means going against the grain. Remember, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. So don't be afraid to be a little crazy. Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to stand out. Because here's the truth. You can't live an extraordinary life by trying to please everyone. You can't achieve greatness by playing it safe and following the crowd. So I challenge you to embrace your uniqueness. Celebrate what makes you different. Use your individual gifts and talents to make your mark on the world. And as you do, remember this: the opinions of others are just that, opinions. They're not facts. They don't define you. The only opinion that truly matters is your own. So live your life in a way that makes you proud. Be true to yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with your choices. Make sure they're choices that align with your values, your dreams, your vision for an extraordinary life. Now, as we continue on this journey towards extraordinary living, it's important to talk about the power of continuous improvement. You see, average people get comfortable. They reach a certain level of success, and then they coast. They stop learning, stop growing, stop pushing themselves. But extraordinary people, they're never satisfied with where they are. They're always looking for ways to get better, to learn more, to grow further. This doesn't mean they're never content. It doesn't mean they don't appreciate what they have. It simply means they understand that there's always room for improvement, always more to learn, always ways to grow. So adopt a mindset of continuous improvement. Every day, strive to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. Learn from your mistakes. Seek out feedback. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Remember, the moment you stop growing is the moment you start dying. So keep growing, keep learning, keep improving. It's not about reaching a destination. It's about enjoying the journey and becoming the best version of yourself along the way. And as you focus on continuous improvement, don't forget the importance of balance. You see, it's easy to get so caught up in the pursuit of extraordinary achievement that you neglect other important areas of your life. But true greatness isn't just about success in one area. It's about living a well-rounded, fulfilling life. So as you strive for excellence in your chosen field, Don't neglect your health. Don't neglect your relationships. Don't neglect your spiritual growth. Don't neglect the simple pleasures that make life worth living. Remember, you're not just trying to achieve extraordinary things, you're trying to live an extraordinary life. And that means finding balance, nurturing all aspects of your being, and creating a life that's not just successful, but also meaningful and enjoyable. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to address something that often holds people back from living an extraordinary life. The fear of starting. You see, many people have big dreams, ambitious goals, grand visions for their lives, but they never take that first step. They're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstances. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time to start. The perfect moment is now. The perfect opportunity is the one in front of you. The perfect circumstances are the ones you create. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop putting off your dreams for someday. Someday is not a day of the week. It's a trap that keeps you stuck in average. Instead, start today. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Take that first step, no matter how small it might seem. Remember, you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need the courage to begin. And as you start, remember this: progress, not perfection, is what matters. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know exactly how you're going to reach your goals. You just need to start moving in the right direction. Because here's the beautiful thing about starting. Once you take that first step, the next step becomes clear. Once you start moving, momentum builds, and before you know it, you're well on your way to achieving things you once thought were impossible. So start today. Take that first step towards your dreams, because the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the journey to an extraordinary life begins with a single decision, the decision to no longer settle for average. Now, as we come to the close of our time together, I want to leave you with this final thought. Living an extraordinary life is not about luck. It's not about circumstances. It's not about where you come from or what advantages you have. Living an extraordinary life is a choice. It's a decision you make every single day. The decision to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. The decision to keep learning and growing. The decision to persist in the face of obstacles. The decision to live with purpose and passion. It's not always an easy choice. There will be days when you want to give up, when you want to settle for average, when the path to extraordinary seems too difficult, too demanding. But in those moments, I want you to remember why you started this journey in the first place. Remember the dreams you have, the difference you want to make, the life you want to create. And I want you to remember this. You have greatness within you. You have the potential to achieve amazing things, to live an incredible life, to make a real difference in this world. Don't let that potential go to waste. Don't settle for a life of mediocrity when you're capable of so much more. Choose to be extraordinary. Choose to live up to your full potential. Choose to make your life a masterpiece. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about being the best version of yourself. It's about squeezing every ounce of potential out of the gifts you've been given. So from this day forward, make a commitment to yourself, a commitment to never again settle for average, a commitment to push yourself to grow, to learn, to achieve, a commitment to live an extraordinary life. Remember, the world needs what you have to offer. It needs your talents, your ideas, your passion. It needs the unique contribution that only you can make. So go out there and make it happen. Dream big, work hard, stay focused, and never ever settle for average. Because you weren't born to be average. You were born to be extraordinary.